So anyway, so on your prep, like your macros and everything, like what's, like you're obviously very close to the show. Like how do you count it? What are they at? Everybody wants to know, like I have a list of questions that we'll go over later. But one thing is like this close to the show, what is your diet like? I mean, how does it work? Is it macronutrient based? What kind of foods do you eat?
It's more based on just ounces. A lot of guys say, oh yeah, you know, are you doing like a 50, 30, 20 percentage of calories? Yeah, I guess, but mine is, you know, 6 to 8 meals a day. Generally, they run around 65 to 75 grams of protein.
Okay.
So if you're doing 10 ounces of cooked weight protein, you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
And then I just decide on what type of protein I'm gonna use. So I can't just eat egg whites all day.
No.
I can't just do chicken all day or steak all day. They all get assimilated differently. And my biggest thing is to make sure my digestion is good enough. So, you know, eating steak all the time, you can't do it because it just takes too long to chew and then to digest. The biggest thing with being a pro bodybuilder is paying attention to your digestive system. If you can't process food a certain way, how are you going to be able to eat 5,000 to 6,000 calories? It's just not going to work.
And is that what you're eating right now, around 5,000 to 6,000?
Yeah, like 4,800, 5,200-ish. I'm not doing any cheat meals or anything like that. So that sucks because, you know, you kind of want that. But my trainer and I hung around about, like, we normally say, well, why not add more fats in, some avocados, some, you know, different types of fish or steak meals, and then heighten the carbohydrate intake, then just to go out and say, okay, have a burger and stuff. Because I know a lot of trainers are like, oh yeah, I just tell my guy to go have a cheeseburger and some fries and this and that. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but you didn't even really get a lot of protein in that meal. You're probably telling that, like, more likely you tell a guy to go have a cheat, he's gonna go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
If you're smart, you're gonna make a burger at home. And who wants to do that? You know, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna go to a nice grocery store, go get, 96%, ground beef and then make your own burger and stuff like that. No, you're gonna go, eat a bunch of garbage and then you're gonna get 2,000-3,000 calories within 1.5 meals.
Yeah.
You're gonna be bloated mess, and those cheats are supposed to help get you better, to reset your body a little bit, not to just satisfy your desire in your brain. So my stick on it is, I want to see how many meals out of those 6 to 8 that I'll get. How many meals can I have carbs with?
Yeah.
So carbs, there's so many different carb sources. Like today, I'm only gonna I don't do brown rice anymore a whole lot, because I just noticed that if I was one of those guys that had a hard time getting in shape, I'd be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
But it burns through me so fast, man. Then I start freaking out, and I'd be really flat. Like for me, my muscles, like, they require more dense carbs.
Yeah.
So I'll do white rice, I'll do red potato, sweet potato, yellow potato, baked potatoes, whole wheat pasta, rice pasta. Just depends on how I'm looking. As I get closer to the end of the prep, that's when we start taking those notes.
Minutes on the steak, but I have all the chicken.
So yeah, I mean, just like instinctive training, right? You're gonna have some type of instinctive dieting as well, because the body is very dynamic. A lot of guys, they're just getting involved in the sport, so they have to have a certain diet because they've never really done it. And when they did do it, they probably started cheating and they weren't, doing everything right. So for me, I've kind of learned over the years what's working and what doesn't. I take tons of notes, tons of pictures. Can I get away with eating a bunch of junk? Probably, but the last thing I want to do, getting ready for the show. The craziest part is that I know some of these guys are probably screwing around, because how the hell do you go one show one year, you're peaked, and the next year you're not? That there's a sense of laziness, but then you watch them train and you're like, this guy's killing himself in there, doing the cardio and this and that. But what is he doing when the cameras are on with the food? Is he having like too much almond butter and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
That will add up. Yeah.
It all adds up. So for me, I just try to not put too much pressure on myself with the diet. I just realize it's a part of the machine that needs to be, taken care of. And I try to make it fun by eating out every now and again to a place like this that will give me what I need. I can eyeball all the protein because I've literally had thousands of meals here over a 15-year period.
Yeah.
So I know exactly. And if I look at it, I'm like, that's not a protein. I just have them bring it on the other side. But I know anytime, I would even, as a tip to tell guys, especially the young dudes getting ready, is that if you look at it and it don't look right, I'd rather err on the side of caution getting extra protein than less.
Yeah. Especially the guys who have trouble keeping on size or putting on size. There's like two types of people. There's a lot of people, they can't, some people, their metabolisms are shit. I don't know what's causing it, but you'd be amazed how many people are literally on like 13. I think they're just cheating, a lot of them.
Absolutely.
They forget about, I remember I was training my buddy was training one guy, and literally, we had him on like 800 calories a day. Dude was still not losing weight. It's metabolically impossible. And it's like, and finally we're like, look, dude, it's like, well, I did have a couple slices of pizza, a couple slices. Okay, I had a whole pizza. I mean, people tend to convince themselves. I mean, people will pass lie detector tests because they will literally convince themselves they didn't eat something, or they'll lie, which I never understood because you're just messing up your own.
Right, but they want to be able to convince you. They want to be able to convince me that they train hard, that I dieted my ass off. It's like a lot of whining. When I started hearing about a lot of guys that whine about training and dieting for show, those are probably the people that get mentally weak and start cheating.
But the thing is, like, I'm a poor excuse for a pro. You're a pro. You get paid to bodybuild.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding costs money when you start. It costs a lot of money. Traveling, competing. Why would you complain about something you're paying to do? That's like complaining about going to Disneyland. And I'm like, it's such a first world problem. Yeah. It's just like hashtag first world problem. It's like, dude, you are doing this to yourself. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the challenge.
Well, they don't really. It's the world, right? So a guy will. No one's putting a gun up to their head to make them do this at all. And when they try to draw extra emphasis on how hard it is and this and that, it's like, we know it's hard, man. There's a freaking epidemic of obesity here in the States. I mean, we know it's hard to eat healthy, but this is how you do it, and this is the goal that you want. You want to look better each day. This is going to help you get there. Just stick to the script, and you'll be fine. But when you have those bad days, when you have the cravings and this and that, those are the days you have to remind yourself, well, do I really want to get better? And if you say yes, then you man up, just like under the squat rack or whatever. Do I really want to get better? You know it's going to hurt. You know this is going to be bad. The week of the show is the worst for me because, I mean, you're dehydrated, now you got to eat 8 times a day and all with the water and this and that.
Carving up's the worst part of competing.
But I mean, this is cake. I mean, this is easy. I just remind myself that even when I was an amateur, I wasn't making any money. I was working 2-3 jobs at the time, just to make ends meet and make sure my bills were paid and stuff. I just enjoyed the process. I love the fact that what I was putting in my body was working. But I will say, when I was younger, getting in the show prep, off season, my diet was horrible. I would eat a bunch of junk and think, I've got great genetics and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But then I started learning, like, you know what? If I work hard, not just in the gym, but in the kitchen and stuff like that, and be more prepared and organized, let's just see what happens then. And that's when the evolution started happening. He's making gains every year.
So this is a very controversial subject. This is actually where I get the most hate for because I'm a big fan of food choices and micronutrients. And like you were saying, eating clean. You say the words eating clean, people are like, put Windex on it. Now, you do believe that food choices make a difference. Like, for example, the Pop-Tart analogy. I don't know when Pop-Tarts became the bodybuilding food to be anti-bodybuilding. I'm sure you've seen it 800 million times on your Twitter, on your Instagram, on everything. You got to eat, if it fits your macros type thing, the macronutrients. So you believe Yeah, that unfortunately, I asked people to give us questions, and that was like 15 of them. Ask his opinion on IIFYM, because a calorie is a calorie as long as you hit your macros. And personally, I noticed a difference. Like in the off season, last year I did allow myself to have more, but I hit my macros on point. I do notice a difference in how I feel and how I react to things when I eat certain food choices.
I mean, I was probably, what's funny, this is how ignorant I am. I didn't even know what the hell that was. But I have been asked that question a lot on my Twitter and stuff. I was like, I'm not even going to look this acronym up because I don't do it. I don't really care. I was probably doing a lot of that when I was playing basketball in college.
Yeah.
But I wasn't lean.
It's the college life.
Yeah. 1,000 calories, whatever. And actually, when I was poor in college and in starting bodybuilding, I'd buy like those little bean burritos at the grocery store for $1 and shit. You know, you get all these little, and you're thinking, oh, I need to hit 5,000 calories. I need to do this. Yeah, I should do that, but was I really getting, better appearance-wise, or was I just getting watery, fat, and stronger? Yeah, I was. But now I'm having to spend more time getting ready for a show, doing 2 hours of freaking cardio, getting ready for a contest. Because you know damn well you ain't going to be doing that same type of diet during a prep.
Yeah.
There's no way. You show me a guy that does that, I'll laugh all day. I hope my competition's doing that type of prep.
Yeah.
Because I'd be destroying them all the time. But I guess it almost just sounds lazy to me. They don't value what protein really is. You don't even learn like the different types of protein, different types of carbs. If that was the case, I mean, gosh, I guess I could just, eat Pop-Tarts and graham crackers and go up on Olympia stage. That doesn't really make sense to me.
It would at least be delicious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Reese's peanut butter cups would be on my list. I love those.
they could be on everyone's list right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's become the big hot topic. Because
everybody wants to make it easy for themselves, though.
Yeah.
That almost, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that just sounds like someone made some shit up just because they were lazy enough, they didn't want to eat clean. Because they know damn well to eat 500 calories clean is much harder. It's probably 10 times harder than eating 500 calories of junk.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why they created, it's just the same. It's like, that's like some Weight Watchers stuff. Man. Seriously, why don't you just do Weight Watchers? Because I see it there, 100 calories. They try to make you fall, do the point system and stuff like that. I would love to go against guys like that on stage. I would love it.
I'm kind of, my whole thing is if I'm going to eat something, I'm going to at least get the most bang for my buck macronutrient-wise.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I just don't, I think people just make up, these are fads.
Yeah.
These are fads. Why would I change what I've been doing that's worked?
Exactly.
Just because it's a new fad. It's to get people involved in a sport that they know nothing about and to make it easy for them so they don't quit. That's why they do cheat meals. They probably count on both hands how many times I've had cheat days in my entire bodybuilding career.
A cheat day can set you back.
That's what I'm saying.
I could do a lot of damage in a day.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even do, like, if Lonnie Man called me up today and was like, your weight's down, go eat this, and gave me like 2 meals. I'm trying to think. During a cheat day, that would probably consist of only 2 cheat meals. Because he doesn't want me to not have enough energy to eat the other meals. Mm-hmm. See, because you know damn well, I mean, you could go through 3,000 calories a couple of meals and you just lay it up food coma all day and then what? You ain't even gonna go train hard that day. So the whole point behind it was so you could go ahead and kick the world's ass in the gym.
Yeah.
And to flush those nutrients in there and get full. But you're not. And so it's really interesting. I mean, I don't want to say feel sorry for the newbies or the guys that just have a hard time getting gains. I just think they're trying to overly stimulate the body, like with showing new stuff.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday I was doing an autograph signing at Barnes & Noble, and the guy was like, I do this, and this, because I try to shock the body every day. And I go, what do you mean shock the body every day? Don't you think your body has to get used to something for a while and then you change it up? I go, anytime Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman did the same damn workouts his whole career.
Pretty much.
He had an A and B workout for everything. I don't see...
It's pretty simple.
It really is simple. I mean, I hate to go off on a tangent, but it's kind of like with our supplement line. Like, we're not trying to overly reinvent the wheel with certain things. We're just trying to make a formulation better with higher quality stuff. So you don't have to throw in all these different names and sound intelligent and this and that. It's like, just here's a formula. Rearrange the little things, but make it potent as hell. That's it.
So with the supplement line, this has been, so your contract was over and you're like, this is my time to do it my way?
Pretty much. I mean, I exercised my contract with Muscle Tech, and I made sure after the Olympia I had addressed my thoughts as far as where I wanted to go, and they expressed their thoughts as well. And that's when we began the negotiation process. And this was right after the Olympia, because I made it proactive on myself to fly out myself to see them, to let them know how serious I felt this was. Because I knew that 34 years old, well, I was going to be 34. How many more years do I really want to compete? I thought 5 to 6 more years.
So you got 5 to 6 more years.
Well, I mean, hell, these guys are older than I am, still competing strong. I mean, I'm still a pup. I'm still learning.
Dexter keeps getting better.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
He looks better than when he won the Olympia now.
I think so.
mean, he looks fantastic.
So obviously he's still learning and he's able to not get hurt, which is great.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I was like, all right, let's see what the future holds and see that and the other. And we just didn't agree on the number, and you know, and that's fine. And that happens in all sports. I think within bodybuilding, you know, sometimes people, you know, will scrutinize the athlete because he wanted to actually take control of his own likeness. And what I'm trying to prove is you should do that.
Yeah.
And you should see what is fair market value for yourself after you've proven yourself. I don't like to hear when I see new guys come in that haven't really done anything, try to play that card. I had to come through a lot of crap, you know. But I won my first 2 pro shows. I did all this other stuff. I never placed outside the top 5 in any professional show.
Yeah.
And I always try to play my cards right, traveling the world, meeting people, shaking those hands. And it was unfortunate that, as far as on the relationship side, that I couldn't have extended the relationship. But hey, the grass was greener. You know, the opportunity was there. I took it, and I'm having a great time with it. I've been surrounded by guys that are really passionate about the world of nutraceutical and health and fitness, and now I actually get a bigger say-so as to what I like, not just for me, but other athletes I know, because you know I know other athletes outside of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So I kind of have that experience, like visiting with basketball players, football players, you know, soccer, volleyball, everything. I know friends from college. I know lacrosse players. I know all. What do you take? What do you like? What can you have because of your organization? Now it's like I can create a brand that fulfills not just bodybuilders, but everybody, as it should.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not just bodybuilders that take supplements. The majority of the people that take supplements are, you know, everyday working class people.
Look at Vitamin Shop. The sports section is about 20%.
Yeah.
Everything else is vitamins.
Yeah.
You look at people who walk in there, most of them are over 60. So if you look at the market for supplements, yeah, it's there.
Yeah. And, you know, we decided to do it. We were allowing the doors to be open wide, so then people can see everything as far as the growth within the company.
Yeah.
I think no one's been able to see that, especially in the digital age, ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we get a lot of attention. You're going to get a lot of skepticism as far as like, oh, well, he's saying this, but he's doing this, or whatever. The cool thing is that we have everybody's attention.
Well, yeah.
We've made it well known that we're going to do this. You know, we have this mission statement. We find high quality products and this and that. But what we really want people to realize is there's an opportunity for you to grow with a brand.
Yeah.
You've never been able to do that with the Mr. Olympia behind it.
Yeah.
You really think that, like we joke sometimes in the office, saying, you don't think for 1 minute that I didn't lose a little bit of sleep over what to do, what not to do, so then I could be 10 steps ahead when someone writes something online
Exactly.
that hasn't tried it. I'd be a freaking moron to come out with a brand during the peak of my career, going into the prime of my career, and putting out sugar water.
Well, the internet affords people a lot of bravery to say things they would never say to someone's face.
Oh, well, I've never had someone say anything in my face.
Not once. I've been in this industry, what? Laya, you hired me. How many years? Long time. Long time. Not once.
Well, it's very simple. A lot of people have been going through life, trying to put their best foot forward. They've been let down. Or it just didn't work out that way. They kind of lived maybe in an entitlement scenario where, oh, I did my work, I did everything they said it was going to do, and it did make me a champion. It's like, dude, if it was easy, everybody would be good. It takes a little bit more than that. It takes a little bit more struggle and intelligence and perseverance and courage. But so they've been defeated so many times that they just become very, very bitter and very, very negative. And that's why you see, like, I can post about this meal and someone's going to say something negative. It's just like the weirdest concept of my life. But the good thing is that I have the patience, you know, and you know, for education and to realize that I'm helping a lot more people that don't engage online that I may not ever meet.
Precisely. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just it does get to you. You know, you're like, oh, come on.
it becomes more annoying. It doesn't really, like, the word annoying and like meltdown
Yeah.
are two totally different things. Guys will be like if I say something funny online, they'll think like, oh yeah, you shouldn't let people get to you. Trust me, I play college basketball in front of a bunch of drunken college kids, calling me every derogatory name, racial slur, everything, and this is to my face, shooting free throw, taking the ball out.
Yeah.
They'll be sitting behind a computer. I ain't even worry about you.
Yeah.
There's nothing. But I think they don't grasp that.
Yeah.
Nothing will really bother me like that. If they notice, like, I just make fun of them back online because I think it's funny.
People think I'm actually mad. I think it's
Right.
hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you actually say something funny back, and it's like, oh, now you're the jerk. It's
you let the trolls get to you.
No, it's just the fact that I'm trolling you and I'm having a laugh in my office.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I actually have a laugh at the people that may write certain things, and then my friends get it. You know, they'll text me like, "Man, you're a clown." You know, it's like barbershop talk. You know, to me.
Yeah. Well, I get it. It's hilarious though. It's probably the same people on the same day. Everybody's got the same freaking. It's hilarious. It's like two guys.
Well,
and they all have like 400 accounts, and they will just they will come on your Twitter, your Facebook. YouTube's the worst. The YouTube comments, they are the most vile, disgusting.
Yeah, those are some really nasty stuff.
Oh, YouTube's the worst. It is the worst. And then somehow they have people like forming like these multiple like 50 million accounts coming at you. Like you can ban them all you want. They're gonna find a way back. I'm like, dude, you guys have you ever had sex in your life? I mean, that's my question. You need something to do with your time.
Well, maybe you have to specify that because with themselves, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, hopefully not to my videos.
Hopefully they can find a better release. If they can realize they can have a better release in the gym, then to show that type of negativity. I mean, the social media has gone so weird. Even bodybuilding chat rooms have become really strange because to hijack a thread is like a cool thing to do, or to derail something. I find it very moronic that I can post a picture out about a meal. 10,000 people like it. 500 people comment on it. 90% of those comments will be about Kai Green's going to kick your ass, Raymond's going to kick your ass, Dennis Wolf's going to kick your ass. The hell does that have to do with the meal? You can't. Are you that damn dumb that you can't post about the meal?
Oh no! Every time I post,
it's just weird. Like it's like
I can post a picture of my meal. It's like your arms are too small for your back. Thank you. I don't
get it. I don't get it. I thought that was the purpose for the social feed. We can't even.
Yeah.
It's like a person at McDonald's that can't even type with the pictures of the burger and fries and stuff. They can't even like push that correctly. It's right there. Are you that dumb? Like, are you that dense? Now, if you want to have an open forum, ask me questions on my website. Go on my Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, because that's why the Twitter is great because you don't. It's not a platform where a discussion based off of a photo.
Yeah.
I just say something, or you can just give me a rant.
Tweet back. Yeah.
And I engage. I make sure.
Okay.
But,
that's one.
you know, I'm always going to be the most accessible Mr. Olympia around, and good, bad, ugly. The sport is still growing. We're on NBC Sports this year. You know, it's not just about selling a bunch of product. It's about providing a good lifestyle and good perspective on things. For me, I'm always going to be positive, but I am going to have fun.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I am going to have fun. Sometimes at other people's expense, but I'm going to have fun.
So you're literally within shooting distance of the Olympia. What did you pay attention to anybody else? Everybody's like, again, more questions. Ask them about this. How do you feel about this guy or this guy? Or do you just do your own thing and say, look, I'm going to bring the best package I can bring to the stage?
Nothing against any of those amazing athletes, but I would be disrespecting myself if I would overly concern myself with second place. Who won last year is my question. I did, so why should I be concerned with that guy?
Yeah.
Do you really think Nike cares about Reebok?
No.
I mean, let's be serious here. They're well aware of them. Do you really care about, does Apple really care when Samsung comes up with a new phone? Maybe a little bit.
Maybe
a little bit. But I've never not once seen anyone wait outside a Best Buy or whatever for a Samsung phone. Never have I seen someone wait outside or shoot someone for a pair of Reebok sneakers. I have seen it for Jordans.
I'm from
and
Chicago. It happens all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So why would I be concerned with what's in the rearview mirror? All it does is keep me accountable, as these guys are hungry and they want what's mine. So if I do have a bad day, I can say, you know what, today's the day that Kai Green's probably going to have the best day of his life. Ram's going to have the best day of his life. Let me make sure that I'm manning up. Oh man, I'm tired and this and that. Screw that, man. Go the next step, because you are who they're trying to beat.
Yeah.
I am not the challenger here. So when they say, oh, this guy's better than you, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
And I, you know, and it's cool, man. I mean, you can be a fan of these guys. I don't care. I mean, good for you. We need fans of everybody. But I'd be a fool to be like, I'm scared or this or that. I'm scared of myself, because that dude that stepped on stage last year had one freaking call out.
Yeah.
He's the one that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So they kind of forget. They forget the minute the show is over, 2 days of Phil won and this and that, and then it's like on to the next show, on to the next year. Phil's gonna lose. I hate him. He sucks. He's this. He's that.
That's just what it takes.
It's just what it is, dude. Yeah. I mean, like I said in Generation 9, I said they only criticize the best. I've never seen these other guys get criticized the same way, from how they are muscular-wise, to their personality, to anything. But they always criticize the number one dude. And I'm the guy that I think can handle that. Sometimes I actually think that some of these other guys, they give out lip service, meaning they don't really want to be a champ, because they couldn't handle the pressure.
You think so?
Absolutely.
It's a lot of pressure.
They don't. Do they really? I mean, come on. Let's be serious. I travel over 20,000 miles this year. I actually stay, and people that have gone to expos, they know.
Oh yeah.
I will stay there to the end, and not complain once. Barely take a bathroom break. Still do seminars. Still do training seminars 40 miles out. We were in Birmingham, England, and I was driving to different gyms doing a seminar there, still training, shaking hands, going back to the expo, doing all this other stuff, doing a superstar seminar there. I ain't complaining. I'm enjoying it. That's about being Mr. Olympia. You know, I still do other events outside of bodybuilding that these guys do not do. Like, I've been on ESPN. I was at the freaking drag races doing ESPN interviews and stuff, just off of a flight that came from the SAC Pro just last month.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to do that? They're not going to do that. Why? Because their whole craft, their whole stick is to be their ass in that gym. Why? Because we know Phil's not in there, so we're going to catch up to him. No, you ain't, because Phil will train at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that they don't understand. Like, when I was growing up in Seattle, I knew I was undersized playing basketball. I had to train smarter and harder. You know, be in the gym, shooting free throws, be in the gym, doing this, doing that, when no one's around. So I don't have a training partner, because I couldn't pull this guy out of his bed, away from his family, to make sure he's doing what I want him to do. I won 3 Sandals with no training partner. Jay thinks I'm crazy because I don't have a training partner. But you know what? I'm able to do it up here and make sure my time is spent wisely. So if anything, those guys have a head start. They have a head start every year. I travel more than they do. I have more fans than they do, actually, whether they want to believe it or not. I mean, they do. I mean, I'm not going by Facebook and Twitter and stuff. I'm going by the line at the expos.
Yeah.
Though that's proof. So love, hate, whatever, I'm doing a good job, and I'm surrounding myself with great people that are with me, whether it be fans, sponsors, what have you, and we're trying to provide a great perspective about what being Mr. Olympia really is, that it can be balanced. You know, I am kind of patting myself on the back here. I'm probably the most balanced dude around.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not just the guy that's buried in the, oh man, man, I'm the cool dude. I'm the guy that's like, I'll shoot the shit with you. I'll play video games with you. I'll go out shooting pistols with you, or driving cars and talk about, we don't even have to talk about bodybuilding. We can talk about anything.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy you want representing your sport, because he relates to everybody.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when I'm on those first class flights, I'm sitting next to people that, oh, so what do you do? Why? I run a clothing line and supplement company and stuff like that. I don't even tell them Mr. Olympia. And we get to talking and stuff, and next thing you know, they're like, man, like, have you been in any magazines? And I look at them, they're like, yeah, you have, man. And, and then they realize, wow, like, what else have you done? And this and that. So, you know, and from that, I've actually have for 2015 booked those kickoff parties for Fortune 500 companies, you know, small businesses. Go down and give those kickoff parties, those
nice.
Quick 20-minute speeches to try to remind them why they're there at work, to kick hell out of this job and have fun and realize that every day is an opportunity for greatness. I'm trying to make sure that when I retire, I was not one-dimensional.
Yeah. Well, you also, bodybuilding, your retirement age is obviously earlier than if you were an accountant.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of build on your future as you go through. I think a lot of bodybuilders in the past didn't really pay attention.
No. It's like any athlete.
They just put new rims on their car and didn't really pay attention to the...
They'd rather take their Olympia check and buy rims or a new vehicle, whereas for me, I'm already investing that $100 grand into something that you don't know nothing about that's going to yield that Bentley or that Ferrari payment. I'm making my money work for me and stuff. So when people start hating, it's like, you're talking about I was smart. Like, that's why I went to college. Like, I'm doing the same thing that you want to be doing. Making money work for you so you can buy your family something. You do this without having to always be a slave to your work. Living check to check, or I'm not doing that. I'm showing people that this is how you do it. But you got to work. So that's the hard part.
Yeah, you got to work.
You got to work, man. It's like telling, I talk to a bunch of kids. You start talking about, you want to make $9 an hour, raise your hand. Some people are like, $10 an hour, raise your hand. $15 an hour, raise your hand. $22.50, raise your hand. Everybody got their hands raised. Here's your hard hat, work boots, your shovel.
$22.50 ain't going much nowadays.
No, but I'm saying, like, they be like, man, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I want to work outside. Really? You don't want to do that? But you want to get paid. But you don't want to go to college. I'm trying to teach people that, I went to college. I was at bodybuilding at the time I was going to college. Now, I was bodybuilding during my last year of college, finishing up, business and IT. Right there, I realized how cool it is to compete and how hard it is to compete living off of no money, this and that. But I understood right away that I would always have something to fall back on. And there's a lot of kids that go to college that want to get into physique or bodybuilding, fitness figure, bikini, whatever. And I always encourage them to get their education, because what is the major thing that they want? They want sponsorship.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the ability to be in your own business,
You're not.
hell no.
Well, there's not many. I mean, let's be real here. You got to be in like the top 10 to even get a sponsorship that pays enough for you to buy shoes. I mean, most guys are on supplement-only sponsorships. That's on the IFBB level too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a misconception to what sponsorships entail.
Well, I think they're older. See, back in the day, when I first turned pro in 05 USA, you were pretty much guaranteed to lose a contract.
Yeah.
You won the USA, you were guaranteed. And as you should. Different day now, though.
Yeah.
It's more, what kind of branding do you have? What kind of branding potential you have? And now with print going down and more digital, how much money is it going to cost you to promote me on your product?
Yeah.
Millions. Well, this guy got a bunch of followers that are real. He engages, he's nice,
It's all about social media now.
But there's proper ways of doing it, because now there's no school really behind it. But the people that went to school for marketing and stuff, they kind of get it. A little trial and error in here and there. They find their way. But just like yourself, you didn't get lucky at all.
No.
Work your ass off, right?
No, there was no.
No, hell no.
No.
But you know damn well people are like, oh man, you're so lucky, you this and that.
Well, people automatically assume I grew up in the suburbs, and I had a nice house, and talked about that earlier, and it's like they don't realize that
there's a lot of struggle, man.
I mean, for me, I'm not saying that everybody who's successful started where I started. There are some people with the Mitt Romney thing going on. You have rich dad, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I want my kids to be like Mitt Romney.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good with that. But there's something to be said about coming from nothing and having to earn it. I think you respect it more.
I think you respect it more. I think people have to realize, like, I went to a very low income high school. The mean income at my high school was $26,000.
Wow.
Mean.
That's crazy.
A lot of people don't know that, because they'll be like, oh yeah, they'll just be just. I'm like, who told you that? Because it didn't come from me.
Yeah.
Put it like this, man. The house I grew up in, still there. Parents still own it. Got bars on the windows and the doors and all that. Still.
Yeah.
So you know what kind of neighborhood this is.
You got bars on the windows, yeah.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah, even now, yeah.
In 2014, you still got bars on the windows and the screen door. and cameras everywhere and stuff. So, you know, I'm not here to kind of share that side of me because I don't really feel that I need your respect based on that struggle. I don't really need it because, you know, some people kind of draw more attention to that. To me, that's not really positive. What's positive is the fact that I rose above that. I still went to college. I still did something. I still made sure that even though my basketball career sucked, you know, in college, I wanted to go to the NBA, I wanted to play ball overseas, I wanted to do all that. I realized just because I showed up to practice, just because I was winning some of those, you know, drills and this and that, did not entitle me for anything. Excuse me. And that's where this bodybuilding stuff is like, people start hating because they feel like they put all the effort in the world, they did everything right, and they didn't win. And it's like, you have to think, was I better than I was when I first started? If the answer is yes, then you won.
There's a genetic component.
Well,
I mean, you know, but I mean,
yeah, that's true.
At the end of the day, if the thing I've noticed that the more elite people I've been around, the more elite their thought process is in how they approach training. Like, you're like, well, you know, I'm going to the gym, I'll make this happen, I'll make the work happen, I'll get everything done. And what I've noticed with people like you, with Jay, with even, talk about being the last of the show, Ronnie, the guy has 2 fake hips now. I mean, he was in a walker, you know, he's doing better. He was at Metroflex 5 days after his surgery. But that's Ronnie. I mean, that's that champion mentality that I think a lot of people just say, oh, it's all genetics, or it's all that other thing, you know, it's all this or that. Look, here's the thing is that there is a genetic component, but at the end of the day, if you even look at the best business people, you look at
they're smart as hell.
You look at Jack Welch, you look at Mitt Romney, look at those guys put more hours into their practice than anybody.
Man,
I mean,
if it was easier, everybody would do that.
Yeah.
My younger brother, I have a half brother, same dad, different mom. 6'6", 260.
Yeah.
Giant. He's autistic. He didn't let that bother him. He graduated high school at 15.
15.
Phi Theta Kappa, I'm sure you're aware what that is.
Oh, yeah.
At 16. Pre-med now, pretty much going to go to University of Washington, full pre-med.
Autism.
Yeah. This kid, while our father died in March, we were at the hospital and he's doing finals on his laptop. He's doing his papers and stuff, sitting next to my dad. My dad's dying in the bed. And I'm looking at Brandon like, you all right? He's like, I gotta be focused. I'm gonna be focused. So he's not only doing the pre-med, he's also doing computer science at the same time.
That's crazy.
I'm like, no, I started off in computer science and business, switched over to IT and business. Kind of the same thing, but not. I'm thinking, I could barely do computer science by itself, writing these algorithms and stuff.
Pre-med.
And he pre-med too. This guy has the gift. He really is gifted.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. But he's still putting that time in. He's still putting that time in because he's trying to be the number one in his class. And other guys, they didn't have to deal with their father passing right in front of them and stuff like that at an early. These guys are grown. He ain't really grown, you know what I mean? He's able to deal with that stress, and he's able to. His mom didn't have to tell him, "You got to study now." He's like, "I got this."
Self-driven.
Because he wanted it bad enough. He still wants it bad enough. His grades didn't even slip. He still got, I believe, like 3.89, 3.9 GPA. It's crazy. I'm thinking, damn, can you be an orthopedic surgeon?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I may need your help.
Yeah.
But
that's
they're
crazy.
just going to show that, like, just because he was genetically gifted to do certain things, he just sat there and was like, oh, it's just going to happen. He put the time in when no one else knew.
That's the difference.
And that's the difference. That's why, and I told him, I said, you owe it to our father to kick the world's ass every day. When you want to cry, you go do it, come back, study, do what you got to do. You better graduate college, you better go do these cool things. Our uncle's a doctor too. But he's like, yeah. I said, I told Dad the same thing about me. I'm going to do what I got to do. Yeah. And that's the thing about life is that these guys, man, they start complaining about, oh, I'm not good and this and that. Yeah, you are. You just got to find out what you're good at. And then you give a damn about it. You learn more about it. And you succeed at it. And then you pass that knowledge on to other people. That's what being gifted really is. Yeah. Being gifted ain't just, oh, God gave me, higher power gave me this ability and I ain't got to do nothing and I just broke muscle and that's it. Yeah. Nah, man, it's about taking something you're good at, being better at it every day, going above and beyond when no one else is around to get better.
Any sport.
And then you're going to be able to do like what we're doing right now, to be able to give perspective to people that we'll never meet on how to be successful, and what's my mindset of training and business and this and that. Someone's going to watch this and be like, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give a damn about my success now.
If we can help one person, you know, look at, and that's what I try to do. I try to get people like, look, you got to work. And you got to also make smart choices. You know, it's like, I get the question every day, you know, like, I always get asked about majors because, you know, in the supplement industry, I guess I'm known as someone who's been decently successful. You know, we are working on our fourth Inc. 500, but nonetheless, just playing. No, but nonetheless, it's like, when people ask like careers, it's like, you know, I want to be a personal trainer. I'm like, just realize that it's tough. It's crowded and the cost of entry is little to nothing. And, you know, how are you going to differentiate? And at the end of the day, it's more of a sales job than it is a skill job. And, you know, and then I'll get people, well, I really want to do it. I'm like, then do it. If you think you could be the best at that, attack it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if I was going to choose from a list of career options, what the best option is. Personal trainer, probably not much. Because you're getting, you know, at mainstream gyms, $10 an hour. And the gym's making a good fitting. So, I mean, unless, and when you privately contract, there's insurance, there's all this involved. So what I try to do is I try to get people to make those educated choices. But at the same time, you know, I want to make sure that I aware them of the fact, you know, like if somebody said, Phil, I want to be Mr. Olympia. You're one guy. How many people go to the gym every day? You know, it's, and that's why people go, hey, I'm gonna be a bodybuilder for a career. Well, you realize most of these guys have jobs. I mean, Ronnie Coleman, 6 years into 6 Olympias, he was a cop, full time. You know, and I asked him about it. I'm like, Ronnie, how'd you do it? He's like, I really couldn't think of anything else to do during the day. You know, I had to work, I had to do something. You know, it's one of those where you look at what Jay did with his business ventures, and I mean, bodybuilding, when you start out and you expect bodybuilding to pay your bills, you're gonna be severely disenfranchised.
Well, there's no 401k, there's no. You have to be a smart businessman. I would not be where I'm at without making good business decisions. And sometimes that is surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. Being humble enough to acknowledge that. You know what, man? I need a badass CMO. I need a badass CEO. I'm not CEO of my own company. Why? Because I found someone that was better. That could help, not manage me, but to give me perspective that has experience over 30 years running companies. And I'm still the president, but I can learn things, right?
There's always going to be, the key to business is finding people that complement your weaknesses.
Of course.
And that's where Tiger Fitness, the CEO of Tiger Fitness, Chad, he's the best numbers guy, behind margins, all that stuff, right? I'm okay with that, but at the end of the day, he's on the back end, I'm on the front end. You know what I mean? I'll do the marketing, I'll do the sale, I'll do all that, I'll make sure it happens. But without, he and I alone, we're okay. Together, we work. So you surround yourself by complementary people, and also know, you know what, we train tonight, I'm not gonna be like, yo dude, check it out. Here's my hamstrings got big. You're Mr. Olympia. There's a hierarchy, but again, like I train with people who've never even competed. You know, I compete at a higher level. I'm not at your level, I'm at a higher level, but I'll learn stuff from some everyday, hey, did you try this move? Like, yeah, that's actually pretty damn cool.
You don't think for 1 minute, given the fact that I haven't been bodybuilding that long, I've been bodybuilding for 12 years. I can say I was lifting in college, but playing hoop, man, it was different. Let's just say I was lifting since I was 18, 16 years.
Okay.
Still not a lot. You don't think I'm reading that Flex magazine or whatever about my opponents? And using their workouts sometimes in my off season to see if it's really bogus or if it really works? Hell yeah, I do. I'd be stupid not to try it. Because this is the guy that thinks that this workout is going to beat me. See my mentality now? Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Branch. Thanks, Kai.
That says a lot about you, actually.
I mean, hell yeah. You don't think that I was the dude? Man, I was the guy, and I've said this before to people. Man, I was the guy when Kai Green did that Dirty Diana posing routine at the New York Pro. I was standing on a damn top chair. I was standing on top of a freaking chair at the Tribeca Center, cheering my ass off. Ooh, screaming. Why would you do that? Y'all like this, now. I can appreciate what I just saw. See, you're too negative. See, you're thinking like this is a threat. Not today. I'm here to be entertained, not to be adjudicating this guy. I'm here to learn something. I just learned something today, and I was entertained.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna clap. Oh, so you're the dry hater that comes to the guest posing, and you just sitting there like this watching me pose or whatever, guest posing a pro show, and you don't even want to clap. Because you're like, yeah, he sucks, he's this, I'm better. It's like, damn, man, it ain't even about that. It's like, for some reason in this industry, man, like if I say, man, you got good shoulders or good arms, that I'm beneath you now.
No.
I'm giving props. But in another sport, I could say, man, your handles are sick, your jumper is awesome, this and that. You see basketball players talk like that all the time.
Yeah.
They know how to compliment one another, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that he's saying you're better than me. I'm just saying, calling it what it is.
You got a good shot.
You got good legs, man.
This industry,
You know?
I've always joked around that the actual fitness industry is based on dysmorphia and low self-esteem. And what you just said kind of validates that. The fact that you can't give props to your opponents. Why
do people go on the chat room and the minute they give out props to somebody, they say, I'm not nut hugging.
Oh.
Right away.
Or no homo.
You say that. Yeah. You say that because you're afraid that someone, because see the troll will come out and be like, why are you not hugging? Why are you sucking it? Yeah. And it's like, now you're preventing this young 19-year-old kid to even want to cheer for his favorite dude.
Exactly.
That, you shouldn't even be doing that, man. And I'm telling these kids, screw them. If I think LeBron James the best damn NBA player, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
If I was sitting with some of my NBA friends and we were having a chat about it, I tell them the same thing. He's better than you. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Or the fact that he won a championship, or the fact that he won MVP, that makes him better than you.
Yeah.
Face it. Man, get off his junk, man. Get off his jockstrap. I'm not on his
Stating a
jockstrap.
fact.
I'm stating a fact, man. He's better.
An opinionated fact.
Now, if I got like, even if I wasn't on his jockstrap, who cares? What that got to do about you?
Yeah.
It got nothing to do about you. Why are you are making it so negative for people to even applaud what these guys are doing, man? Guys and girls are doing this stuff so then you can have motivation, and you over here trying to derail this guy from clapping for this dude. Looks like how the guy's telling me to not clap for Kai Green. That's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
I should be able to do that freely. You know? That's real talk, man. Like I should be able to say, man, here's a case in point. I know when Ronnie Coleman, when I first saw him in 04, he guest posed after winning the Olympia. He guest posed out here. I waited 4.5 hours to get his autograph, man.
Really?
2 hours at prejudging, I was scared. And I waited another 2.5, got 4 autographs signed. He misspelled my stepson's name. I went back in line, waited. I was like one of the last people. He signed it. I still have them. They're in my office somewhere.
Nice.
And he was nice, you know. He didn't talk a whole lot, but he was nice. You know what I'm saying? He was a gentleman. I said, man, I want to be like that, man, if I can.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have the stamina to sell all my stuff. Because it was like, it wasn't about the money. It was about the fact that people didn't want to leave him alone. I was like, that's iconic, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's different than when I was playing basketball. The game's over. You go shake the hands of the fans, this and that. You may come back out, go meet family and friends, whatever. There's not millions of people waiting for you. Like, bodybuilding is great, man. We have, after the Olympia, like after I win, that's why if people notice, like I try to shake hands with the people with the trophy in my hand, because there's something about that connection.
Yeah.
I want to give them some piece of that. After I make my speech and all this other stuff, I want to give them that piece. When we walk out the Orleans Arena, I'm visiting, I'm taking pictures with people. I want them to enjoy this stuff. Love me, hate me, whatever. You're going to pay attention to what I'm doing, but I'm going to give you the love back regardless. If people notice, the only reason why I post back on people is because I actually care.
Yeah.
I actually do, because I know the other guys, and that's what I meant by like some of the other guys don't really want to be the champ because they couldn't do that. They don't have that patience. They don't have that stamina. They don't have like when things aren't going well for them. Could you imagine like most of these dudes having the hate that I get? I mean, they would let it turn inward, and they probably harden their heart to where they just want to get the hell out of there the minute their time is up on the appearance and get their money and bounce. For me, it's like I get paid doing things that you don't even know about, doing other business ventures. For me now, being 3-time Mr. Olympia, hopefully 4, I got 5-6 years left. I'm gonna just have fun because who really stopped and smelled the roses while they were Mr. Olympia? I think Ronnie did after he lost.
Yeah.
Because I was there when he lost the second time.
Yeah, same here.
And how many standing ovations? He got like 3 or 4 standing ovations. He wore blue posing trunks. I remember it. He had the torn leg. He had, he was devolving us a little bit.
Yeah.
but I cheered so hard. I can't remember what song he did, but he did one of his old
Yeah.
songs, and they brought him back out, and I don't think I was crying, and it was funny because this kid behind me was like, "Why you crying, man?" You know, like I was a bitch, and I was like, so I looked at him and I said, I'm watching the legend say goodbye.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I bodybuild. You know, he's the reason why I wore the flannel shirts, the NPC flannel shirts, and the pants, and the boots, and all sort of shit. You know, he was the one that would be like, lightweight, and I'm like, I'm paying homage, man. Do you not understand what you just saw? And I think sometimes people don't even like stare to look and be like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at all the flash photography and stuff. And mind you, I think I hadn't done my first Olympia yet. So I'm watching it, it's 07. I'm like, this is almost synonymous to when Michael Jordan's last game in Chicago, when they showed the crowd.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
and I'm like, coming from a basketball dude, I'm like, this is possible in bodybuilding.
It is.
Because these fans are very well engaged. And I said, I want that. I want that.
Well, you're not cheering for a team.
No.
You're not the Bulls. You're Phil Heath.
You're the dude. So it's like, and when I say cheer, it's not just for me. It's the fact that people really like this bodybuilding stuff, man. It's that cool to do. People are like screaming. I was there when Jay won the first time. People were like, going crazy.
It was crazy.
It was so freaking loud. And when I won, I was like, this is the coolest feeling ever. So I try to learn from different people's successes and mistakes, and I think one of the greatest mistakes that I see is that they don't know how to stop and smell the roses because they're too busy trying to do the craft itself. I mean, it's very, very hard. But I'm just enjoying the journey, and then with this company, it was the right time. I've been very fortunate, like I've said numerous times, to surround myself with great people, a great opportunity, and it's the 50th annual Mr. Olympia contest. It's going to be televised. I'm glad I'm doing this, and it gives me an opportunity, if I nail it, to do exactly what I would have done if I was retired.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference, is that I'm doing it while I'm competing. And I know some people were like, oh yeah, doesn't that put more pressure on yourself? I'm like, oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But, I mean, come on, like, I could ask you this question. Would you bet the house, the farm, all the stuff on yourself? I think so. To be successful, you should.
If I have my own destiny in my hand, which you do, and you know the game plan. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the deal. When this is about you, but when I just give you a background of me, I owned a company, you know, and I sold it in 2011. And you know what? I doubted myself that I thought it could have been a one-hit wonder, you know? I built a company, you know, we created a category, it was great. And I just teamed up with the right people, and with what we're doing here, we're doing some special things. So you know what? I think to be a CEO, to be the greatest in the world at what you do, which you are, and I truly believe that I'm the greatest at my craft. But to have that kind of swagger, to have that alpha mentality, fuck yeah, you're gonna bet the house on yourself.
You should.
I would.
I think what I'm dealing with now is that I'm having to apologize for being successful. And I was with Rock Shabazz's wife. We were having lunch.
Rock's a great guy.
Rock's a great
His
dude.
wife is hilarious.
Gina's crazy, man. Like we have
She
a
will
great
straight
time.
up say anything.
But so we're chatting
Yeah.
at the Toronto Pro. We're having lunch, and I'm just telling her, you know, I was kind of frustrated because you know you deal with the good and bad and ugly and stuff. And I think like I said, to get annoyed by just people's negativeness and the negativity. She said, you know what? Don't you ever apologize for being successful.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. And I was like, man, I think I'm a pretty deep dude. She got me on that one. I looked at her and said, you know what, you're right.
You earned it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, because you read what people say in the whole cocky, arrogant thing, and it's like, guys, like, it ain't cocky when you're asked the question, do you think you're going to win? And I say yes. Because why is that cocky when the second place guy, through the 10th place guy, can say, I want to kick Phil Heath's ass, I want to beat him, I want to do this.
But when you say you're going to win.
But when the number one guy says you want to win, now he's an asshole. It's like, guys, you can't, well, I can't teach them this. But what I can say is that I have this, once I won, why would I want to start losing? It's either, right now, my pressure is that either I'm winning or I'm losing. Other guys, they can say, well, I'm climbing.
Yeah.
I'm either winning or I'm losing. So it's like
you're the incumbent, man.
Yeah, it's like
You're running for president.
That's a big deal. So I better believe in myself, every ounce of myself. Otherwise, I deserve to lose. You know.
Yeah.
And with business, as long as I'm willing to put the time in and be humble and surround myself with good people and understand that there's a lot of patience that go along with this, I should be successful at that too. You know?
Bring this back. This has become more than bodybuilding. 70 to 90% of all businesses fail.
Of course.
You started a business.
Yeah.
Just to start a business, you're a cocky, arrogant son of a bitch. You know, that's what I always say. I had a quote and I had a profile on entrepreneur.com, and it stated, and it was the author actually put that in.
Right.
You know, here's a guy who's successful in business, but 70 to 90% of all businesses fail. Here's why his is successful. And I read an article that was really me talking, but he put that in there, and then I realized my father-in-law, before he passed away, I did a college project, and I had to interview a CEO. He owned a security company. And I said, what's the definition of a CEO? He said, an asshole. He couldn't have been more correct. Anybody who believes that they're going to be one of the 10% who make it, 1 out of 10 people make it in business. 1 out of 10 people. And not only did you make it to be the best bodybuilder in the world at the given time, or in history, we'll see what history holds, but now you're starting a business, which is a whole new level of audacity. So how
dare he do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you why, because I did go to college for it.
Yeah.
You know, I am utilizing what I could easily fall back on.
Yeah.
I think I do have a very good perspective on the world of health and fitness. I'm willing to learn more, willing to hire the people necessary, and to make those partnerships necessary to succeed. I'm having fun with it. Who wouldn't want to be able to make a phone? I can make a phone call to my manufacturer and say, this isn't strong enough. Can you make it stronger?
Yeah.
And they're like, under what guideline? I'm like, under the guidelines that it's legal and this and that and that. And he goes, let me make a phone call. We'll get the highest quality, this and that. Done. It's going to cost us a little bit extra. Screw it. I'm like, this is sweet.
That is cool.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, because people can say what they want, but there are ingredients that you can buy that are good, better, best. And I get to choose the best. That doesn't mean that anyone I previously worked for didn't have best. It's just that I can control what I want now. Yeah. And that's what's great. Wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want that? Yeah, man. You want to be able to be a shot caller and this and that. Hell yeah, dude. And then be able to pass that on to everybody else. I mean, if they like it, great. If they don't, okay. Because guess what? I'm not stupid. Average guy, girl, people watching this, probably has 5 to 10 different brands in their house.
Yeah.
So I know that I only need to be one of those brands.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to be the brand. I want to be one of them.
Yeah.
And then you start making the decision to maybe get rid of some of those other ones based on the brand loyalty to the education that we're trying to
trust
do.
And
So you know, to even co-sign with your father was saying, I'll be that asshole, I guess, because I believe in myself. You know, you hear about all these other athletes telling people to believe in themselves. I'm telling you to believe in yourself not just with your muscle, but with your mind too. I'm sorry, but Joe Weider, God rest his soul, man, I remember sitting in his office, and he was just like, I created this so that everybody can make something. He's doing it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome that because of guys like him, surrounding himself with other people that can go out there and come on, an empire really, to where you and I can actually.
That's where I started.
Yeah,
I started out
you and I could actually have a conversation about making money within the industry. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Very, very, very fortunate. But to push it forward, it's like I have a great opportunity. I'm going to seize that opportunity. I'm going to strike the iron while it's hot. And I don't believe in failure because why would I? There's no point.
Well, yeah,
there's no point.
For the record, you probably know we picked you guys up before you even had a price for them. We were like, I'm like, all right, just send over pricing. Give us a couple days.
Yeah. We had a lot of guys actually. You know, it was really, and I'll say it real fast. I mean, we had a lot of guys purchase product with no label.
Wow.
And I appreciate that because that lets me know that my likeness, my brand is very strong. My personal brand is very strong. I took it with great respect and responsibility to not yell at my but to be on their ass and say, we got to deliver. Because they believed before we even had a freaking label.
Yeah.
Before we had the final label, we already had pre-orders.
It's like a white bottle with your picture on it, you know?
Yeah, they don't know what it was. They were just like, man, I'm here to support him. I was reading
That's
like
awesome.
the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram. They're like, man, Phil, you never let me down, man. I just want to support you, man. I met you. You're a cool dude, this and that. And I'm just like, I can't let them down. I'm one of those type of guys that all I ever wanted in life was someone to believe in me, whether it's a coach or a friend or this and that. When I get the ball, I'm running with it. I'm going to score. That's how I believe. And sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes some people just believe in ourselves. So with them doing that, and even for yourself, because you wouldn't have done that for anybody else.
Yeah, I got to say, I got a close relationship with Andrew.
Yeah.
You know, he messaged me. I'm serious. He messaged me, and he said, bro, I'm working with Phil. I said, just give us the price. We'll buy it right now. I'm like, you know, it's one of those things. It's a relationship-based industry. If my boy, for example, we didn't like gas. We're not a clothing. We're moving, but he's like, dude, I got this new thing. I'm like, cool. We're bringing clothes. You know, it's one of those things where you get your relationships, and that's the thing about business and everything. Everything we do is based on relationships. How we interact with fans, how we interact with the manufacturer. Why are you able to call in the shots? Like when you were a small company, you weren't running $1 million runs. You're like, okay, here's $10,000. I need some pre-workout.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you have those relationships you've built over the years, and that's one thing I want to stress to everybody watching this. Everybody you meet, whether it's a janitor or a CEO, treat them with respect.
Yeah, just be a gentleman.
Treat them as you would anybody. I mean, just get out there and give everybody experience. Remember, that first impression is everything. Even if you're having a bad day, if you're at an expo, we've both been there, and you're tired, you're run down. I went to the Arnold, and I had a line, not quite your line, but I had a line, and I just had reconstructive ab surgery, and I'm literally, Peter, I was in tears. I was crying. And I'm like, I was still smiling. You know, people are like, how you doing? I'm like, hi, good. But that might be the only time you see them. And that's their impression of you. And as a representative for TigerFitness.com, you know, I can't go there and be like, man, I just can't talk to you right now. My stomach hurts. So just if you have the opportunity to touch somebody.
You can be honest though, right? You can be honest and say,
I'm hurting.
Hey man, I'm hurting, man. It was like last year's Arnold, you know, that was when I found my wife had breast cancer.
Oh, God.
So I'm sitting there, and this guy goes, what'd you do, go out last night? And, you know, you look a little tired. And I'm just like, actually, no, dude, I'm dealing with some personal stuff. He was like, oh, yeah, like what? You know, like, oh, you didn't get enough food or this and that. So, no, dude, my wife has stage 1 breast cancer. He was like, I go, no. Come on over. We're going to do this picture. We're going to sign this stuff. I said, I didn't say it to make you feel bad. I'm letting you know that we're real people. We have real problems, just like you dealt with. And I'm giving you the time. I'm giving you your time. And, you know, and I wasn't trying to even bring that up to get sympathy or anything like that. But it was just being honest. If I'm walking out of an expo and you've had this happen, you're walking out of an expo, we're already taking all the pictures you can. You got to someplace you have to be. You have to me, instead of ignoring people, I'm like, hey, sorry guys, the only way I can do it is if you run with me and just stick. But when you gotta hang your phone to your friend and do all this other stuff, I don't have time because I got 1,000 more people that would love to do the same thing. Now I can't get to an interview, can't get to the gym, can't do this thing. I always tell people, walk with us. And they'll do it, hey, thanks man, or sorry dude, I gotta do this interview, I can't really do it. But I look them dead in the eye and I tell them the truth. And or I gotta go to the restroom or whatever. That actually is cooler than just Phil. You know, who wants to have that Hollywood crap happen to them? Someone's gonna get left out. I get it, but that's why we do those expos and we have fun. And
Try to get out as much as possible.
Yeah, and because you know damn well, we ain't gonna name names, but we know athletes in this industry, both men and women, that don't do it enough and consistent. When they're winning, oh yeah. When they lost or whatever, to me it's like, if you lose, man, you should just, man, we used to lose in a basketball game at home. And coach would be like, Heath, you and so-and-so got to go upstairs and sign basketballs for the kids. We used to get so damn pissed. And then toward my career, I was like, I better enjoy this, man, because coming next season, I ain't gonna be signing nothing no more ever again.
Yeah.
See, so I've already kind of dealt with that part, being a ball player. These guys haven't dealt with that. So I kind of get it, man. You gotta enjoy it all the time, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And like you said, treat people with respect, because when I had my signing yesterday, I had a couple guys that remembered me from playing ball at the University.
Really?
That came, literally, they were like, hey, we were still within the alumni network at DU and heard that you were going to be there, so we came down, man. Man, you've gotten big, you know, this and that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're like, you were a good kid then, and you seem like you're a pretty good guy now. And that's what you want to hear. When the muscles are gone, or devolumized.
Devolumized.
Yeah, devolumized.
I like that word.
You want to be able to walk through the expo and be like, man, I met Mark. He's a good dude, man. Hey, son, go take a picture with that guy. Who's that guy there? Oh, that's Mr. Olympia, man. But, well, he's not now. Well, back in the day, son, I'll show you some pictures when we get home. You know, but he was a nice guy.
You want that legacy.
Hell yeah, you know how it is. We all talk, man, look at this dude, man.
There's one guy, an older guy, who's famous for it. For the, it's like seeing at the expo, you're like, okay.
Well, why wouldn't you want to avoid a legend? But, you really have to just enjoy it. Like, I watched a lot of your videos and stuff, and man, sometimes I need your energy because you be on it. But the way that you engage with these people is important because I can't do it all the time. The other guys can't do it all the time. And, it's all a part of the machine of health and fitness, get people excited. You're making it fun, right? And that's why I told the guys, I was like, I should come through. And I told Andrew, I said, I know, because he asked me where we were going to train. I was like, man, like if it wasn't a Tuesday, I'd be doing something different. I said, but I'm going to tell you this, man, if you can come down again, we'll give them even more because I'm liking this vibe. I'm loving what you're doing. We're around the same age, and it's just cool that, iron can sharpen iron within this industry. You don't have to undercut people. You find people that are doing something positive. I don't care what it is, man. I want to align myself with people like that, like yourself, because that's how the sport's going to continue to grow.
Yes.
It's not necessarily competition. That's what guys have got to get away from with this. Coke needs Pepsi.
Yeah.
They need each other.
Yeah.
And I need a contender. I do. If it was just me, it'd become boring. Maybe that's why I catch some hate sometimes because, they're like, well, shit, man, he's going to win again. Screw him. I want this guy to win. Okay, well, that's why they're buying tickets.
Well, Ronnie,
that's why they're buying tickets, man.
In your opinion, you talking about Ronnie. In your opinion, is he the greatest ever?
It's hard because
there's different eras, obviously.
There's different eras. I mean,
he's got the numbers.
I'm gonna say yeah because I'm looking at game-changing events. I mean, he went from semi-aesthetic freak like in 98, 99 to just all-out
superhuman.
Like, what spaceship did this dude land from?
03 when he was 290 with shredded glutes.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, that don't make sense. We'll never see that again.
I don't.
His limbs carried it.
Yeah.
You could get a guy.
His waist was also in check at 290.
Yeah. So
it was the year after his waist kind of got a little weird, but that year
they nailed it.
Oh.
That was the year that they nailed it. As far as the combination.
Yeah.
For me, I could never do it because I don't have the limbs. I didn't have the genetics to train like that. I wasn't a strong man. A lot of my family is from the deep south. They actually know Coleman.
Oh yeah.
Because he played at Grambling State.
Yeah, he did.
So my cousin is Doug Williams, only black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we got some genetics.
Yeah, you got a little bit of genetics.
A little bit, right? So a lot of them knew him from back then. And they're like, man, this guy was strong back then, man. And he fell into the right time in his life to bodybuild. And, he did amazing things. And I think we all have a great Ronnie Coleman story of what he looked like on stage or what he looked like in the gym. He did it all. You couldn't out-train the dude. You couldn't out-mass the dude on stage. You get some guys that were maybe a little bit bigger, but they didn't have that definite. The guy was defined. That's what took me out.
I mean,
he made it to where if you're over 250, you can't even have shredded glutes and hamstrings and stuff. Don't even show up because guys like him will destroy you.
Yeah.
So it was like, I remember my first Olympia. I had the cheap seats, the cheap
yeah.
seats. And to the point where you're not admitting that you're an IFBB pro.
You're basically watching the TV.
Yeah, so I'm watching it, and then I got a chance to hang out with him. So we're at McDonald's. And he's having his burger and double quarter pounder. I know the whole story. Double quarter pounder with cheese. He had 2 of them. Fries, Coke, this and that. And I'm just like this. And that rope-like vein he had in that right arm.
Yeah.
That garden hose vein.
Especially after he's eating the McDonald's, too.
Dude, I ain't never seen an arm like that in my life.
No.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is like the most epic shit I ever seen ever. And I'm like good friends with Jay at the time. And it was so hard for me because I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah.
I would say Jay's a close second, even though he didn't win as many Sandals, primarily because he was the most relevant bodybuilder during that era. To be second place pretty much in a decade says a lot.
And then actually bring it home.
And then
I mean, it's not like he wasn't Dan Marino. I mean, he actually brought home the title.
So he was able to do it 4 times and to win 2, lose 1, win 2. I think it was great. The way that he did it was amazing. So I'd say those 2. I mean, my personal all-time favorite is Lee Haney. I just think because of the fact that he was able to win 8 in a row at that age.
He changed. I think he changed
that age. I think at that age, the level of wisdom that he had to have to reduce temptation, to be married, the same wife to this day, to have kids, to be able to be. I mean, that's a lot.
He's such a godly individual.
That's what I mean. Like I've never met another guy like him.
Deeply committed.
Yeah. So it's like. If any young dude wants to have an idol, that would be the guy because he's the only one that's gotten it right, and because at an early age, right? But yeah, man, Coleman, dude. I mean, it just freaking.
Ronnie, in my opinion, is the best. The guy who got me into bodybuilding, is Dorian, and it was time. It was timing.
Yeah.
I was playing football, you know, and it was in Inglewood, California. I was at the 7-Eleven, and I was like, I need to gain some size.
Right.
And I remember I looked at it, they had Muscle Mag at the time. Remember Amy Fodley with the big ass? Ooh, yeah, and I'm like, that's great and all, but I want to get big, right? So I bought that too. But anyway, then I looked at like Muscle and Fitness, it was too soft, right? Yeah,
American Curve.
But it was too soft. And then Flex, it had Dorian with that hamstring shot. And I didn't care about, all I saw was grain. And I'm like, I want to look like that. I want to be grainy. I want to have those veins. I mean, that's what his hamstring, believe it or not, I was brought into bodybuilding by Dorian's hamstrings. But you know, my favorite the guy is obviously going to be the guy who I looked at and I said, all right, this is what I want to be.
Yeah.
But Ronnie, by far, as someone who actually saw, I was every Olympia from '99 on I've been to.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
And I was there when he brought that 290. And I remember, what's funny is you go to the Olympia, and like you come on stage, people go, or like somebody comes on stage, they go, boo, yeah, or if someone came, I remember Branch came out one year throwing everybody did that, right?
Yeah.
When Ronnie came out, no one did anything. People didn't know what to do. They didn't know whether to clap, whether to cry, whether to gasp. There was dead silence throughout the arena, and I'll never forget that moment. I mean, everybody who was there probably has the same. It's like, because we were sitting there, I was at Weeder at the time. We were in the box seats, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was probably with Ronnie, but we were standing there, and I remember we were just chilling, just talking about. All of a sudden, oh, Ronnie's playing, and then everybody just, nobody knew what to do. And then it just erupted.
Yeah,
but for about 5 seconds, it was dead silence. So Ronnie, by far,
because no one ever had that. No one can say that they just shut it down like that and was already a champion at first. He basically, I'm a big cartoon nut, man. He went Dragon Ball Z on these dudes, went straight Super Saiyan on these guys, and he just thrashed them. He literally had a transformation from a year prior.
Yeah.
Because in 2002, I remember watching on pay-per-view. Everybody was like, "Oh, Kevin LeBron should have won this." And I was like, "Nah, he was good." But I said, you don't think that guys like him hear this and get mad? Because that was the year that Jay sat out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is around the time when I first started getting into it. And I'm thinking to myself, if I know who this Coleman guy is, man, he knows this color dude is coming, but he gonna be ready for all of them. Because that's when he lost the GNC show in 2002 to Gunther.
Gunther brought it at
so
that
he brought it at that show,
there.
and I remember reading in the flex like how mad he was. Like you could tell like he was pissed. And I'm thinking to myself, now I'm talking to cousins of mine that knew him from back down south. And they're like, this guy, Joe Phil Watts comes out in 03 off the spaceship, and you're like, I was watching on pay-per-view, I started laughing. I'm thinking, this is like, you can't do nothing about it. You couldn't even. It's like playing Madden on cheat codes, man. Like you had cheat codes on Madden. There's nothing you could do about it. Every player's got 99 overall strength and everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm calling it. Like there was nothing anyone could do. You know what's funny is that like I remember reading the flex because you had to wait to get the images. Jay actually looked really damn good.
He looked good that year.
He actually looked really, and it was just like this dude So that's what's crazy is that when you can beat someone and the second place dude was miles ahead of everybody else too.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There was no third place.
No.
Third place was like 80%.
Yeah.
And third place was
Dexter.
Dexter looked great. Dexter, think about that. He's consistent.
Yeah.
You know, Dexter's not going to pull Ronnie 2003, but Dexter's always going to bring that package.
Yeah.
He's got it down to a science.
I'm just thinking.
It's crazy.
That's something you never see again, and we needed that to help the sport. Every Mr. Olympia has, I think, that, well, multi-winner Olympia champions will usually have a moment where the fans are like, I was rooting for the second place, dude, but this guy just walked in here and took it.
Yeah.
And that's what we really trained for. I mean, last year, getting ready for the Olympia, I was like, man, I got to have that moment. And I kind of got it at that pre-judging, because I remember Jay went, and Kai went, and everybody was like, and Kai looked awesome.
You look great.
And I was a little nervous because I was like, okay, I know they're going to boo me this time. I said, just don't freak out about this.
Yeah.
Jordan got booed.
So that crossed your mind.
Yeah, because you gotta prepare yourself mentally for that. Because if you think everybody's gonna love you, man, you're gonna be disappointed. And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. So you gotta be realistic and say, man, you done beat their favorite bodybuilder since Olympia 2010. They don't like you.
Yeah.
But if you go out there and handle your business, the respect will be in the silence.
Yeah.
And I had some of that silence. And then the people started clapping, and I was like, got it. And then when they called me out and put me back in, I was confused, and I thought, this may be over, man. And all I told myself was, you did your job. That means that
you did all you could.
That means that you were rewarded for every time you wanted to quit in life. It brought you to this moment. See, so even though I haven't been bodybuilding that long, there were times in your life where you had a choice, the choices and the consequences, the whys of the road. I didn't quit then, and I didn't quit now, and I was able to mature and realize that everybody ain't gonna love you, Phil. Everybody ain't gonna love you. The respect factor will be earned, not just given. And I got it, and it was cool, and I expect the same thing this year. As far as I get one call, I doubt it. I mean, I'm not stupid. I know that, these guys are going to look amazing, and they're going to give me all I can handle. With it being on TV and stuff, it wouldn't be good TV to just have one call. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. My stepfather worked in broadcasting, so I get it. But I'm damn near going to prepare to knock that sucker out of the park and to have fun with it. And with the outcome, I hope that I'm the champion and stuff, that I can still engage with people even more so. Every time I win, I want to engage more with people. More interviews, more meeting greets. First time I went to Olympia, I said it. Remind me to shake your hand. It's not just he's trying to run for your office and trying to be like Obama or something like that. Nah, man, I'm being real, man. Nah, I want that because I didn't get to have that experience playing hoops that most of my friends get to do playing in the NBA. I want that experience because maybe I'm going to encourage that little kid or other person. I was doing a signing yesterday. This guy was like, yeah, man, my dad passed away, this and that, watching videos, this and that, got me through stuff, meeting you today. You're the real deal. We talked on Twitter and stuff. I don't remember really talking to him on Twitter, but it meant something to him to where he's back into college, he's doing his thing. I actually gave him one of these big cardboard cutouts of one of my articles and Flex.
Awesome.
Signed it for him. Was like, I said, what kind of car you got though? You just gotta put this in your car.
Yeah.
If you had a car like I did in college, it ain't gonna fit. So he said, no, I can fit it. I said, okay, good.
Okay.
And that's what you do with it now. I try to learn from all, 12 other Mr. Olympias. I've been really fortunate to actually, I think I've met every one of them. Yeah. Met Larry Scott, I met Sergio, I met the ones that have passed, so I've met all of them. This has been like the coolest ride for me, and it's really just getting started, especially with this company now, to see how far I can go with that post-contest.
Yeah.
It'll keep me in the industry. I got the clothing line, I got supplements and stuff. I can work on motivational speaking. I want to do it all, because who else did it all? Arnold.
Yeah.
Am I trying to get into politics? Hell no. Am I trying to? No.
They dig up too much shit on me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, nah, they could go through some old Polaroids of me in college and they'd be like, oh hell no, you know.
Hey, Arnold got through it now. Yeah, more stuff than any of us.
For real.
Yeah.
But you know, overall, my friend, I just want to make sure that I'm having fun with this, answer these questions, you know, from the fans that have come in. You know, they really respect you, man. They do respect you. And I like that because without that, I mean, you know, we can't do what we do without respect, man. I mean, we got to see some positivity from our hard work and stuff. I mean, we get it. We're catching enough shit as it is. It's always nice to know that we can hee and ha and guys controlling this and that, but overall, it's positive. And that's the good part.
It's the vocal minority.
Yeah.
But the majority of the emails you were talking about, like, every day I get at least one email where it's like, look, I got my shit back together.
Yeah.
You know, I got a job. I want to start training again, take care of myself. Or I lost 80 pounds. I'm doing this.
Right.
I mean, you know, we're at the end of the day as bodybuilders, we're the pinnacle of physical fitness.
Yep.
And so people look to us for guidance. And
Yep.
you know what? That's what we try to provide, but we also try to be real with them. Like, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, it's all about just creating a positive outlook on the sport.
Yeah.
And without the sport, we don't have jobs.
No, but it's good that you're doing it because I would rather have people watching your segment or mine or these other guys because it's coming from a person that has a face. These guys sometimes they go online and take advice from someone that is under an alias that they've never met.
Yeah.
That is trying to give them information about their health, so to speak, that could ruin their health, but they wouldn't answer a telemarketer's phone call about investing their money into something. So I asked a guy that one time, I said, why is it that you take everything on the internet as dog shit? If a telemarketer were to call you up and said, I want to invest $10,000 on money, you would hang up the phone. But this is your health we're talking about here. That's worth more than 10 grand. Why is that? And you have to think about it. I go, there's nothing to really think about, bro. I mean, I can get a stock tip on the phone, but unless if I sat down and met the dude and went through his pro forma and stuff and saw how he did it and see if he's a swindler or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing is that as bodybuilders, we get those nameless, faceless, or even people with faces who are just morons who talk about the. I'm going to try and put this in a way where I don't actually state the subject. And one of my most viewed videos is the truth about bodybuilder blanky blank blank.
Right.
Basically, there's people going out saying bodybuilders doing X, right. this, and this. And in reality, as a very low level pro bodybuilder who actually interacts and knows pro bodybuilders, I'm like,
nobody. The truth.
Your liver would be on the floor right now if you took like half of. I mean, and I try to not even address that subject because it's irrelevant. So, but what I did is I did a video, and you wouldn't believe, probably over 10 guys who are going to be standing on stage with you in 4 weeks, literally either called me or emailed me. And we're like, dude, I've been trying to, in fact, I'll state it, and he said it's cool because he talks about it too. Evan Senapani was like, it's about fucking time. He's like, I don't have the following you do to get this out. He's like, I've shared this with everybody. It's about time someone said it. And that's the thing is, at the end of the day, we work hard, you know, and it kind of gets this downplayed by the fact you go, oh, it's genetics, it's this. But you're the best at what you do because you work hard. But I just want to dispel.
It's just because of the fact, and to cut you off, that when they say all men were created equal, the problem with bodybuilding is that, see, someone could go into a basketball field, a football field, go play with the buddies. Eventually, the only people that are going to really play are the best.
Yeah.
It's like the other day, my buddy Jamal Crawford, he was getting married. The night before, they had like a midnight madness where, like, I mean, it was. I wish I could have seen this run. Him, CP3, Blake Griffin, Lamarcus Aldridge, like all these badass players, Spencer Hawes, like all these guys, Isaiah Thomas, Nate Robinson, like all these dudes. I'm like, how long was the wait? 2-hour wait. Wow. Well, guess what? That's because they're the elite, right?
Yeah.
But a person can accept that. I go in the gym with the top 10 guys at the Olympia. That's the elite, dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just face it, man. But that's just who they are, man. You're not them. But you can be a better you.
Just
and that should
look
be
at yourself.
And that should be enough. But it's just the fact that we can all go to the same gym. We can all take the same stuff, drink the same shakes, do all the same everything. And then one person's going to be better than the next, and they just can't accept it.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because it's not on a skill-based sport.
Yeah.
It's about their appearance.
Yeah.
See, so I always bring up the analogy: you get two guys, you take them to the mall, you buy them the same outfit. You go to try to talk to the girl. She's going home with one. You hope so. But she's gonna pick one guy or the other. That's the way it is. The other guy's gonna be like, man, his hair is messed up. His this, his that. I'm better. I'm that. It's her personal preference, man.
Yeah.
And in bodybuilding, that's what it is.
It's all preference.
It's the preference of the panel of judges, man. What they prefer is what they think is the best physique in the world. And just because you don't fit that criteria for that trophy, doesn't mean you suck. It doesn't. And it also doesn't mean that the guy that beat you sucks either. It just means that was the preference that they had. And it's a contest. Someone's got to win.
Yeah.
Just be a better you and everything should be okay. Now, I was still saying this when I wasn't winning the Olympia, mind you. So, because I wasn't always winning. It's just hard because these guys, they put all this energy and time into stuff, but it goes with the little things too that we're talking about. Guys think they're dieting hard and they're not. Guys think they're training hard and they're not. I see guys training at an Armor's Pro gym, and it's a hardcore gym, but I don't really see them in there when they're 2 weeks out. They go to the other mainstream gym. Why? Because they can wear the cutoff. Everybody's staring at them, cheering them on, and this and that. People that watch this, they got friends like this. You go to the hardcore gym, girls do it too. Girls really bad. You go to the hardcore gym during the off season. When it becomes pre-contest, now they start, everybody only peels down when they're shredded. But they really wouldn't want to go there because they don't want to be compared too heavily by a bunch of bodybuilders that compete. They'd rather go to the gym that's more mainstream, like a 24-hour fitness, whatever, because everybody's like kissing their ass. At my gym, we're just like, good for you, man.
Well, you go after everybody's gone, though.
I go up there, I'll address that real quick. I go when everybody's gone because I was trying to alleviate a lot of, not pressure, but just, if I put myself in a position where I actually take pictures with people, then I'm going to take pictures with them.
When you're training.
But it's gotten worse now because I was in a movie, I was winning again, and you know what? I got the baddest fans on the planet.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to take a picture? So if I don't feel like doing that, you don't put yourself in that position because that's me. Last night I go to the gym and this kid, man, he was on business, 25 years old, trying to compete naturally and this and that. He was like, I waited here for you, man. And I was like, at first I could have taken one of two ways. This guy's weirdo, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, man? Would you have waited for Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan when you were a kid? Yep, would have.
Absolutely.
So you know what? Give this guy his time. Ask him some questions about him. Don't even talk about yourself. Make it about him for 5 minutes and see what he has to say. And got to meet a new little friend. Told him to come back when I'm off season. If he happens to come back, love to sign whatever and take pictures with him. We took pictures anyway. But, and he was like, man, you're the coolest dude. He wanted to give me I could tell he wanted to give me a hug, man, because I was like maybe his idol or whatever. But I enjoyed that part. And, we have a responsibility that's not taking advantage. And I don't see these other guys doing it. And that's why these guys get so bitter and they start making these weird stories about what a guy's taking and this and that. And props to Evan, man. Evan's a good dude, man.
He's the nicest guy.
He's a really nice guy, man. I was there watching him as an amateur. I was there when he turned pro at the Nationals. He's a good dude. I like guys like him. I like, seeing on tour because he's very respectful. He works hard, this and that.
Yeah, we were right by each other at FitX in Australia.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah,
we need guys like that in the industry. Some of the younger guys should probably look to him as being a role model and stuff to these other fans because when you're Mr. Olympia, you can only say so much. About everything.
Yes.
You guys that aren't, you kind of, relay messages, kind of like how you can.
Yeah.
And those messages are going to help.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I do anyway.
Yeah. And people, and hopefully people respect it because, I'll have my own little, I don't don't want to say tell-all book when I'm done, but I will. I got a lot of things that I've compiled over the years that I would love to share with people, but I need an open canvas. I need an open-minded person, a group of people to absorb that. The words won't penetrate right now. If I were to tell people exactly what I was doing when I first began bodybuilding, they wouldn't believe it. When I turned pro, they wouldn't believe it. Some of my friends didn't believe, and then they started kind of going through the photos, and they're like, "That's that does make sense now." And a lot of people just don't want to believe in certain things because people will not believe what they cannot understand.
I can't understand how Jordan floated through the air.
That's what I'm saying. They can't understand that. So why would you believe that?
There's genetic. What I always explain, I explain this on my channel a lot. There's genetic outliers in everything. Tiger Woods at golf, Michael Jordan at basketball, LeBron James at basketball, Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, all those guys at baseball.
How does that man run out like that?
You know, and he's not even a great runner. He's not even a great runner. By the way, we have 10 minutes till the battery dies.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to head over to the gym or do whatever, I know you got a meeting at 6. It's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm on your time, man.
Yeah. So
I just don't want to impede your day. You probably have to eat again.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I got my guy grabbing me some more meals, man. But this is great. This is breaking up my prep perfectly because I need to still do these type of things. This is therapy for me. I don't want to call you an outsider because you're not, but to have a new person in, have a positive chat. You see this industry in a totally different way because how people interact with you than I do.
Yeah.
But we come together and we talk and we compile information and it's great. I'm really excited.
It's gonna be fun.
Is good.
We still got a whole day.
Yeah. Thanks, man. So yeah, let's cut it from there and then
whatever you guys have to do.